Good morning everybody, welcome back to cilinixfxcapital. Hope you're all doing great and welcome to this new video right here and your daily update on Bitcoin. We're going to do a full update. We have some news coming out today, so we'll talk about that. I'll give you a brief rundown of the current situation in the financial markets, but also for crypto. Then we'll talk about what to expect today, or at least what the different possibilities are, and then I'll tell you what I think is most likely. So let's get right into it. Obviously, yesterday Bitcoin has been incredibly strong. I expected a pullback, to be fair. I thought we would at least fill some of those imbalances to the downside, and you could argue that we spiked down to the fair value gap right here, but obviously it's very minor. It's a very minor fill. But we still have some imbalances left down there, so that's something that's good to know. Not only fair value gaps, but also, well, let me delete some of these drawings. Can I still do that? Yes. So we also still have some major imbalances down towards 111,000. I think it's unlikely that those will be hit soon, but it is a possibility, right? And if you're planning any positions on Bitcoin, future positions, spot positions, it's good to know that that's an area where we could spike down into if we actually get some bad news. Now, in general, the fundamentals, right? When we're talking about news, the fundamentals around the markets are still fine. The S&P 500. As you can see, is relatively stable, I'd say. I don't think it's bullish. As you can see, the S&P 500, yes, since Friday, it's up slightly, but it's up and down, right? But then we have the volatility index that over the course of the day opened slightly higher. Whatever's causing that, it could be multiple things, but this is not great, right? I mean, we want the volatility index to be low, and if you compare this to earlier this year, this is incredibly low, of course. But still, if it's increasing, that's bad. But as of right now, I would say, also taking a look at the Coinbase Bitcoin premium, I would say it's fine. The fundamentals are good enough to expect continued bullish momentum. And I have to say, I mean, you don't want to ignore bullish momentum like we had yesterday after the NYO. Right, so when the US session started, this was the highest bullish volume that we've seen in the markets since the 12th of September. And the 12th of September, we actually did rally higher afterwards, after that high volume move. So today we have some news at 2 p.m. UTC, the JOLTS job openings. We're looking for lower than expected data. Ultimately, will this certainly matter? I'm not sure, but it's good to keep an eye on that, and I do think it's going to cause some short-term volatility, at least, all right? But generally, what we see with Bitcoin is that we hit a major resistance level here at the 90-day rolling VWAP. Also a pretty high liquidity zone with the previous month point of control being there, so that's the most liquid, or at least the most traded level in the month of September, so it's relevant. Found strong resistance there. I think we're going to at least fill the upper imbalances we have right here. So that's between 113,000 and 112.6. And the reaction to that level, so that's what I expect short term, a drop down into that level. The reaction to that level will tell me whether we can expect a breakout above 115,000, which at this point of time is our main resistance level, or at least the respected resistance level. So whether we can do that, or whether we have to drop down a little bit lower into that level we spoke about earlier at 111,000, fill some of those imbalances down towards the 7-day rolling VWAP before rallying higher. And given the current state of the fundamentals, given the current state of the strength of Bitcoin we've seen, at least in the last 24 hours, I would say it's a little bit more likely that we will find support right here at the 30-day rolling VWAP. So that's 112.6, and that we'll be able to hold that, and that from there we will be able to get continuation up higher. But I have to say it's pretty close, right? I was thinking about it this morning, and I'm not comfortable enough to take a long trade on Bitcoin based on this assumption or based on this analysis. For the risk of a spike down lower. I mean, we should only see escalation, for example, with the potential U.S. government shutdown, or we see much higher data with the JOLTS job openings, and we can spike down into that level lower in an instant, right? So it's quite tricky, but those are my thoughts right now for Bitcoin. That's what I think you need to know. So thank you for watching, everybody. Take care and bye.